Hi, catch me on the Caine Interviews with Shannon Caine and learn all about MS with me and my friends, the Amigos, on Cat TV.
Hello, and welcome to the Caine Interviews. I'm Shannon Caine. On today's show, we'll be talking about multiple sclerosis with Susan King, who's a member of a local Northwest Arkansas MS support group. Susan, what is the name of your organization?
The name is Amigos.
Okay, and does that stand for anything? Is it an acronym?
No, it's the Spanish word for friends,
Right.
and that's what we are. We're friends.
Okay.
We're friends who happen to have MS.
All right. How long has your organization been together?
It has existed for 27 years.
Wow. Did you do anything special for your 25th anniversary?
We sure did. We had a party, and a lot of the people here who came were originals who are not able to get out very much any longer. But we had a party, we enjoyed each other. The newspapers came and wrote an article about us.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now, are the Amigos strictly from Fayetteville, or do they come from all over Northwest Arkansas?
They're from all over. We try to hold the meetings in Springdale, but we have people coming from Salem Springs, Stillwell, Oklahoma, Bentonville, Rogers, Farmington, Fayetteville, all over. So we are trying to be centrally located, so it's not a hardship for anyone to get there.
Okay. Now, what is this ailment, multiple sclerosis, that affects over 400,000 people in the U.S. alone?
Well, it affects over 1 million worldwide, and multiple sclerosis is a neurological disease that affects the central nervous system. And that consists of the brain and the spinal column. The myelin, which is the covering over our nerves in the brain and spinal cord, are destroyed or damaged, and this will cause the nerve to be damaged or short circuit. It can send the messages, and the messages will be slow or confused or completely short circuited. So sometimes they do not reach their destination, and this causes the loss or reduction of mobility.
One thing that I should probably interject at this point is occasionally people confuse multiple sclerosis with muscular dystrophy, and these are two entirely different things. So one thing that folks should be aware of is that MS is not MD. The Amigos, this group, this is not Jerry's Kids. This is a whole different thing. So some people think that they're giving it to multiple sclerosis when in fact they're giving to Jerry's Kids, and they think it's one and the same. These are two different groups, so that's just something that people might want to be aware of.
Shannon, MS affects women 3 times more than men, and whites more than any other ethnic group. And it's the most common neurological disease in young people ages 15 to 50, but it can strike at any age. And it is more prevalent north and south of the 40-degree mark of the equator than in warmer climates.
Okay. What are some of the symptoms of MS?
There are quite a few symptoms. There's dizziness, vertigo, visual problems, blurred or double vision, tremors, weakness, seizures, sexual dysfunction, bladder and bowel loss of control, pain. There are spasticity, depression, speech, slurred speech, swallowing difficulty, and there are many, and a lot of times you don't know what's what.
So it sounds like there's a pretty incredible array of symptoms.
Yes, but not everyone experiences all or some of them.
Okay. Now, what are some of the symptoms an undiagnosed person might look for if MS is suspected?
Any unusual symptom, especially the vertigo and the pain and the visual, any unusual, go immediately to your doctor, and because a lot of times MS symptoms mimic other illnesses, but you need to have them checked out.
Okay. With MS, is it true that diagnosis can take a long time?
Unfortunately, yes. Diagnosis, because the symptoms do mimic other illnesses, it can take a while. You go to the doctor, you tell him what your problem is, you give him your history, you write down what has been bothering you. He'll probably, most likely, recommend an MRI. And then after that, see what the results, if you have any plaques on your brain or spinal cord, which are the scar tissue. Then, if needed, a spinal tap. But with all of that, they should usually be able to come to a conclusion. Some of the doctors want you to have more than one exacerbation, which is a flare-up or beginning. And so sometimes it can take a while, unfortunately.
Okay. Does MS come in different stages?
Yes. Remitting, relapsing, that is when you have an exacerbation and it lessens, then goes into remission. You may have a lingering of some of the problem, of some of the symptom. The second is secondary progressive, and that's what I have. That's when you have progression with or without relapses. The third is primary progressive, and that's progression from the onset. Then there's benign, where you have few attacks and then little or no disability after 20 years. And the last is primary relapsing, and this is or progressive relapsing, excuse me. And this is where you progress from the onset with acute relapses.
Okay. What about fatigue? Is that a major problem for MS patients?
A big one. That's the most common problem and complaint. Fatigue is an overwhelming problem for MSers.
How can one manage that fatigue?
We have to plan our daily routine. If we feel stronger in the morning, then make any plans to do any activities at that time. We have low heat tolerance, so plan activities for when it's cooler in the daytime. And ask someone for help. If something's going to be easier for you to accomplish while you're on wheels in a wheelchair, go for it. Get on those wheels and go. Do something. But planning and making sure that you talk with your doctor, because there are medications that can help. There are medications that can help a lot of MS symptoms, but they don't take MS away.
Right, okay. Is MS contagious?
No, not in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. Is it true that no specific cause of this disease has yet been determined?
No, not at this time. The leaning is in research that it's a slow virus, and there is so much research going on, the Multiple Sclerosis Society of America and other groups, that is their main concern, is to find the cause and the cure. And so at this time, unfortunately, no.
Okay. Is this disease life-threatening?
No, it is not life-threatening. With any other illnesses where you have limited mobility, you're bedridden, there's the chance of infection or blood clots because of not being able to void. Your bladder infection can occur. But if the doctors know about it and treatment has started, no, it is definitely not life-threatening.
Is it curable?
No. No.
Is it passed on genetically?
No, it's not passed on genetically, but they are saying that 1 in 1,000 people would be susceptible to MS. But if you have a family member who has MS, then that rises to 4 in 1,000. So, but it's not supposed to be genetic.
Okay. Well, let's talk about etiquette toward MS patients. Many of these people have significantly decreased mobility, particularly those who are in power chairs. How should a person with full mobility act towards someone who's physically challenged?
With courtesy and consideration. If you see someone who's in a grocery store and they're trying to reach for something and you're walking by, just politely ask, may I help you get that? Or if they drop something, here, may I get that for you? Children like to get in front of the power chairs, so please ask your children to stay away from them. But courtesy and consideration, that's what we should give to everyone, whether we're in a chair or not.
Okay. And you had mentioned in an earlier conversation that we had about doors. And so would you like to say something to the folks about doors?
Oh, I would so very much like to say something about doors. Doors, especially, it seems, to restrooms, are so awkward and so heavy to open that we usually have to ask someone to open them for us. Once we get in there, it's okay. The bathroom's set up fine. But the doors are so heavy. A couple that I know, she's in a power chair, had gone out to a restaurant, and she needed to use the restroom. She could not open the door, so her husband opened it. Afterward, they talked to the manager. They told him what the problem was. He said that, fine, we'll adjust that. Fine. Well, they went to the restaurant about a month or so later. Again, had problem with the door, no change. So talked with the manager again. Well, after the third time, they knew that the manager was not going to do anything about it. But you figure, once you're in a chair, you try to reach a door that has a handle on that side and pull it open this way when you have no room. And so, yes, doors are a problem. So if you see someone who needs help, please,
And
it's a big problem.
Okay, and back to the grocery store, the doors to the freezer case.
Yes.
That's a problem too?
Right, definitely. When you open the door, usually the item you want is all the way on the far end. So you try to push the door open while you're in the chair because you've got the cart in front of you and you can't reach. So this is where consideration and courtesy come in from other people in the area, please.
Okay, so just because a restaurant or another establishment is complying with the Americans with Disability Acts doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a breeze for somebody to...
No, definitely. Definitely not.
Okay. Back to MS and its symptoms and so forth. Do MSers ever seek alternatives to traditional Western medicine?
Yeah, a lot of them have. The bee venom, the honeybee venom therapy seems to be the one that has shown some benefit. So the Multiple Sclerosis Association of America has funded a study, a safe study, and we'll hear more about that later. Then there has been acupuncture, aromatherapy, colon therapy, magnetic therapy, urine therapy, and none have proven to be safe or beneficial. So before you try anything, please talk with your doctor.
Okay. How does diet affect MS?
Well, if you're using a healthy diet, if you're eating right, then that benefits your body whether you have MS or not. But as far as any specific benefit for MS, no, nothing proven.
Okay. How is attitude important when trying to cope with MS?
Oh, big time. Great. I have a saying, it is FAF, faith in God, attitude, and family. When you have this and you have a supporting caregiver, supporting family, a good attitude, and a great church and friends, anytime you have this, your attitude improves, and with this you can go, you can fight, you can do it.
Okay. I'm going to sidetrack for a moment, and let's talk Hollywood. Who are some celebrities who are known to be MS patients?
Unfortunately, the list is growing. Clay Walker, the country western singer, Donna Fargo, who's also a country western singer, David Landers, who played Squiggy on Laverne and Shirley, and Annette Funicello.
Right.
Now, Annette, I think we all know that the reason Annette came forward and told everybody about her having MS is that she and her husband were leaving a restaurant, and she was staggering, and her children's friends were passing by and saw her. So she didn't want them to think that she was drunk. So that's why she came forward and told. Lola Falana and Terry Garr, Montel Williams, Richard Pryor. They're an awful lot, and there may be more that we don't know about.
Okay. Is there any mental impairment associated with MS?
Yes, it's nothing severe, but there's some with us. I have some, as you can tell, because of my hesitation. Sometimes it takes longer to recall a name or a word. Emotions, memory is a problem, moods, concentration. So if you need to do something, try to do one thing at a time. Plan what you need to do, make lists, and that will help a lot.
Okay. Let's talk about another MS-related organization. Now, there's a national organization called MSAA, and that's the Multiple Sclerosis Association of America. Now, why is this group different from many of the other organizations out there, and what do they do?
They are fantastic. They help us. Any money they raise, any research they have, anything they can do is to help the people who have MS. May I read something from this booklet?
Please do.
Thank you. This is from the MSAA. It's Programs and Services Guides. And, excuse me. MSAA was founded in 1970. It's a national nonprofit organization dedicated to enhancing the quality of life for people affected by MS. MSAA provides ongoing support and direct services to individuals with MS, their families, and their care partners. The MS Association of America exists to ease the day-to-day challenges of individuals with multiple sclerosis and their care partners. They have given people in our group and other support groups cooling collars, which are I'm sorry.
Well, they just help cool the body down, right?
Yes, they help cool the body down because we have heat intolerance. Cooling collars will help to make your body feel as if it's 15% cooler than it actually is. There are also cooling vests, cooling suits, and they give funds to help people have an MRI, which are quite expensive.
Right.
They're about $1,100 each, and they give our group the money so that we can purchase stamps and cards, birthdays, anniversaries, get well, and in May they gave us some money so that we could have our picnic.
Oh, okay. Now, MSAA has a seasonal event that's happening this winter. And how can people right here in our viewing area help MS patients during the MSAA's Sweeten the Season campaign?
Well, they have candy canes that are in the store, and you'll see the sign, and anything that MSAA receives goes directly to us,
Okay,
not in somebody's pocket.
Okay, so this winter when you see the MSAA candy canes, you'll know that they have begun the Sweeten the Season campaign, and you'll want to take part in that. Now, as we bring the show to a close, how can the public contact your group?
Well, Amigos, our support group, Catherine Bennett is the secretary, and her telephone number is 479-750-1607. There are several other places, of course, MSAA. Their number is 1-800-LEARN-MS. Their website is www.msaa.com. And another place here in Fayetteville is Sources. Their number is 442-5600. So we have some places that are here to help us, and hopefully people will call them.
Okay, great. Well, that about concludes the interview, and it's just been a pleasure having you on the show.
I thank you so much, Shannon, for allowing me to be here, and hopefully someone seeing this will call us and get some help, join our group, and become an amigo.
Okay, great. For the Caine Interviews, I'm Shannon Caine.
Hi, I'm Patrick Carr,
And I'm David Caine.
and we're with the Christian Association of Stellar Explorers, the Amateur Astronomy Club of Siloam Springs. We've been talking about Mars today. Please tune in to the Caine Interview series on CAT TV here in Fayetteville.
Like that, or do you want to do it down?
That was fine.
Sure.